I believe my best surface is clay.
Just like AJ. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Changeover Podcast. My name is Jody. This is the first Zoom episode, so hopefully we can maintain the quality that we've been bringing to you guys. We're all in different places this week. AJ is at home in Pittsburgh. Justin is in the Netherlands, and I am in Hungary. So I guess we can start with Justin. How's the trip? How's the Netherlands?
Well, I arrived today. Bit of a long trip. I traveled from Miami to Lisbon last night. Got in, had about a 3-hour layover. Then about a 3-hour flight again, which I slept through, which is nice. Then I got a car and I drove 2 hours to where I am now. And I've just been trying to stay awake. So it's kind of late here right now. I feel, what time is it? Almost 11?
Yeah.
So just good, so I can sleep, so I can try to get a normal night's sleep, but I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, I came a day before Justin, so I wasn't able to go to sleep. I went to sleep at 4 a.m. Like I ate dinner at like 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. Like I tried to go to sleep at like midnight, couldn't fall asleep. And then
Wait, dinner that late?
Because I tried to go to sleep at 12, I couldn't fall asleep. So
Would you ordered food after 12?
I was starving. Like I literally went in bed at like 11:30, tried to go to sleep at 12, couldn't fall asleep. Then I was like starving after 2. So I ordered food around 3 or something, I want to say, and then I went to sleep at 4. And then I was like, the sun's coming up already. And also, I'll show my room. Like, there's a big window because there's no AC. So the window is like wide. Huh?
Are you at an Airbnb hotel?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, okay.
Yeah, and there's no AC, so I have the window open, and it's like huge windows. Like for sure,
Europe doesn't believe in AC.
People can see me sleeping. People can see me sleeping for sure. But I like it here. Budapest is nice. It's cool so far.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty tired too because I flew from Lima, I want to say Wednesday night into Thursday morning, like a 6-hour flight. So I had overnight flight where I had a middle seat from Lima back to Miami.
Brutal.
Slept horribly. I feel like I broke my neck in that flight. And then I had like 36 hours at home before I got on this journey. So
why don't you explain to the people watching why you decided to go on such a long trip? Like, what was the thought process behind this?
Basically, I believe my best surface is clay. So
just like
AJ? There isn't much going on in North America at the moment with clay or the Caribbean or South America. I think those will start middle of September, but I've been hurt also a good amount of the year, so I wanted to kind of keep momentum going because I've been playing pretty well recently. So my only option really to play on clay was to come this side. Or I could have gone to maybe Argentina or somewhere to play some 15Ks at the moment, but I think I need to get a visa and something really complicated. So this is pretty much the best option for me. So yeah, I'm here looking to get on the red clay tomorrow and get back in the groove.
True. Did you hear the train in my mic or no?
No, I didn't hear it at all.
Like the train is like right outside my door. So I don't know if people can hear. I can hear it like in my headphones, so maybe people can hear.
No, I can't hear anything.
I didn't hear it.
Should we talk about the Tennis Channel video?
Run it.
We have to.
Okay, so Tennis Channel posted a video. I don't even remember when it was now, but they talked about just random people if they can win a game against a professional tennis player. And 71% of people think that they can win a game against a professional tennis player. 82% of those people are between 18 and 24 years old. 47% of those people are above 55 years old. So, AJ, do you think that people can win a game against a professional tennis player?
That's a wild statement. What's funnier is you said the 55 and over was a higher percentage, right?
No. 55 years, 47% of people above 55 think so.
Come on, those are wild.
47%.
They should know better than that.
And 82% of people between 18 and 24.
I like it, I believe you should believe in yourself and everything you do. So I think it's good.
I think tennis is one of those sports where, like, if you never really played it, or like not just play, like not just hit balls, like take a lesson with a pro and like find out what tennis is really about, like you have no idea. You have no idea.
I think we talked about it on an earlier episode with Evan and saying how easy the pros make it look on TV. So you don't really get the appreciation of how hard the sport actually is and how much skill is involved in the sport and how much
Physicality.
Like balancing the skill with the physicality and
You know what's
stuff.
funny?
And we haven't even talked about pressure and nerves and all that stuff. But yeah.
There are pros who play other pros, and some days they lose 6-love, 6-love.
Yeah,
That happens. So you come off your couch and win a game against a professional tennis player is very unlikely.
Yeah, that's
It's
the first part
impossible.
of the segment. So the interesting part is this. Andy Roddick was asked about a player 800 in the world. If a player 800 in the world would win a game, I mean, would someone off the street win a game against someone 800 in the world?
Do you still have the actual statement he had?
Yeah,
Like,
I have it here.
Can you read it?
800 in the world. I was on tour, the real tour, where we make paychecks. You're not a professional if you don't cash paychecks, right? If you don't make your yearly income doing something, you're not a professional. You have to actually support yourself for years. Sure, 800 in the world is fantastic. So you're like 700 spots away from playing a major. It's great, but you better get from 800 to 200 quick. What you think, AJ?
I'm torn because technically what he's saying is correct, but the way he said it was a little edgy, you know?
Yeah, I
Like
think it's the tone, right?
exactly, like he knows. I feel like deep down he knows the level. He knows it's a fluid level. Like there are guys and challengers who are beating guys in qualifying of US Open, and he knows he's been around, you know? Like he
Yeah,
even knows every level.
yeah, I
So
And
think
his
I
brother
thought
is a coach in Division One college, so he's seen that too. I remember I watched it. I was playing Sweet 16 with USF, and I think it's John Roddick was the head coach at Oklahoma, and Andy Roddick was there supporting the team. So he knows how good players are playing at 6 all the way through 1. So I think
if I
in the
actually
comments, it's a bit of a facetious comment. I feel like at the same time, I think he's
the
just trying to
more
rile people up.
well, I was gonna say the more I think about it, like I've been sitting on it because we saw this video like a week ago. I think maybe that the first part of that segment might have pissed him off so much that he wanted to make a point with the second part, you know?
yeah.
Like he's like,
It ended kind of weird because um Petkovic, when she heard that, because she was on the panel too, when she heard that, she said, I have nothing to do with what he just said. And then the host, I think his name is Steve or something, said, not only throwing shade on all the amateurs, but everybody who's not on the ATP or WTA tour. I don't know. I thought that it was like, it's the tone of how he said it. Because it's like you said, we don't make money. Like someone 800 in the world does not make enough money to support themselves playing tennis. So that's true. But then it's just the tone of it just sounded dismissive of everyone who's not on the main tour. And like you said, the level is very interchangeable. Like you see all the boys at US Open that are doing well, like all the wild cards that are doing well. These are guys that play futures most of the year, challenges most of the year. They're not on the main tour and they're still winning matches against guys on the main tour. So I think the level is not in line with the prize money distribution. So that's why, to me, I found it like a little bit dismissive of the lower tours. You know what I mean?
well, for me, it had nothing to do with the money, just like the level, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. The next thing we were to talk about was the baseline program, the ATP baseline program, and I don't have the numbers. I guess I can pull it up on my phone while we do this. So
I think you should pull it up to make a point.
yeah, I'll
Just
pull
so
it up.
we
So it says what the ATP baseline program is. This assurance will empower players to plan their seasons with greater certainty, focus on their game, and invest in their teams. This includes covering the expenses of coaches and personal physios as well as travel. And what the ATP was trying to do is set a floor for how much money people make per year. So for someone who ends the year at 100 in the world, the ATP wants them to make minimum $300,000. So if, for example, they make at the end of the year in ranking, they made 250K, the ATP would subsidize them with 50K. And we looked at the numbers of these guys. So for example, the first baseline is 100, and Cerundolo is currently on 100, Juan Manuel Cerundolo, and he's made so far this year 230 grand. and he hasn't played the US Open yet. So he's supposed to make a minimum by the end of the year, 300 grand. And so far, 3/4 of the year, he's already at 280.
Yeah. And it's the same all the way down. I think if you look at what's the last rank in 250? What's it like 75?
The in-between one is 175. That's currently Mark Polman's. Mark Polman's is at 140K. And the baseline program
150?
is 150, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the next level down is 250, someone 250 in the world. And that person is Nicholas Kicker. But I think he was hurt, so he didn't play a full year.
Yeah.
So let's go someone else. Let's go Dane Sweeney. Dane Sweeney is 249. He's made 84 grand. And
He's already surpassed it.
he already
Yeah,
passed
he
the
surpassed it.
75.
And you got a quarter
75.
of the year left.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. So when I was in Lima, I was sitting with a player who was previously top 250. So he's in a group chat. It's like a ATP group chat, 1 to 250 in the world. And the guys were all saying basically it's BS, especially for that initial program where it's just ranking. But if you talk about, there's one with injury and there's one with a newcomer. So I think they were saying it could be useful for players who get hurt within a certain ranking and for the person who makes the top 125 for the first time in their career. But other than that, it doesn't really help anyone, because once you kind of achieve enough to be in those certain ranking classifications, you're gonna make the money anyway. There's no other way to make it without making that kind of money.
yeah.
So
So
it's just
it's like so when you first sent it to the group chat, because I was driving and you sent it to us that first day. I don't remember what day it was.
yeah.
But when I parked and I read, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like this initiative is cool. And then I looked at the numbers. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
But I
And
saw
you think
everybody
about it for a second, yeah.
Yeah. Saw everybody freaking
Yeah.
out on Twitter and stuff. Like I'm actually curious how much the HP will actually have to pay, because
They probably won't pay more than a cent.
I feel like
I haven't
everyone,
heard.
only the people who are injured or something would probably benefit. Like what you said, the newcomer and the injury one. Everyone who actually plays a full year, full calendar, they'll make the minimum money without the ATP having
I
to
think
subsidize
a
them.
friend of mine tried to like count how many players would actually get some money, and he's a top player. And I don't know how accurate he would be, but he said he could on his own, looking at it, count about 10 players who would benefit from this. So 10 out of 250 is not really helping anybody.
And those 10 players can probably still have time to make up the money.
And there's still 3 months left in the season, so it's
Exactly.
not. Yeah, so it's a bit. I haven't heard any players say anything good about it, except I seen maybe Dimitrov's like Instagram statement. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
I did not know.
But yeah, I don't see anyone else say anything good about it, to be honest.
You know what's funny? I spoke to Taylor yesterday. So for the people who don't know, Taylor Dent used to coach us a few years ago in Texas, and he was saying like, how cool would it be if we like did it similar, like if professional tennis was similar to like club tennis, how they do it in Germany and France and like these ones, or like college tennis. Like it would be a lot cooler if they were like home and away teams, so that people can, come out and support home teams. Probably better money for all the people playing and stuff. Like, but I think it's too much to change,
Yeah, but the truth is too, a lot of players actually pay for parts of their year by playing those competitions. Like a friend of mine, Roberto Sid, went to Germany this summer for 3 weeks just to make however many thousands of dollars just to play 6 matches. Like you sign a contract and you play and you get a bonus if you win. And I know if you have a European passport as well, you get paid even more. So I think many players in the tour actually support themselves through club tennis. So it exists, but they're playing not the whole year.
They're playing pro tennis on the money they make from club tennis.
For sure.
It's kind of it's not even funny. It's just sad.
A lot of players.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And if you get ranked high enough, you can actually make very good money from that. Like, and
you make unbelievable. One of my teammates, he makes. I mean, I don't want to drop names and numbers, but he makes more than you would make at a
drop
ATP
numbers
level.
though, not name, but just drop a number.
He makes over 20K a match.
Yeah, sick. Yeah,
That's good
it can
stuff.
happen if you rank high enough and you play in the right league.
If you're in the first like the
right
Bundesliga,
league,
or I'm not sure with the other ones, because that like the German one's the biggest one.
There's some big money I heard like in France, the end of the year, big money in Germany in the summer. Switzerland has some good money, I've heard. Maybe Italy too, but there's some
Like
good
in
ways
what
to make
other
money for
sport?
sure.
In what other sport would that happen? Where like the players
You
fund
leave the official
their
league to make
career?
money.
Yeah, exactly,
No,
exactly.
doesn't happen. But at the same time, if you're in the top 100 already, you probably don't need the club matches, but you can make real money just playing a few matches in the summer
Yeah.
to maybe boost your income. But I think players who are between, let's say, 250 and 500 can make a good deal of money and actually help their year by playing the club matches, I think.
Can I
True.
say something real quick while we're
Say
still on the
something.
Go for
subject?
it.
So I think the baseline was like the right idea, but horrible execution. So just from you saying it there, I think from this would have been a great plan if it was implemented from 250 to 500. And obviously not the same numbers, like minimal numbers, but have baselines for guys from like 250 to 300, 300 to 400, 400
Yeah.
to 500.
Yeah,
Because
something like
those are
that
the
would have
guys
made
who are
more
who need
sense.
help.
struggling the most.
Yeah,
Because they're the ones traveling
fair
the
enough.
most from challenger to
But
challenger.
but it's not even like the numbers that they put. It's not actually like if they said okay, top 100, 500K. Okay, then you're like, all right, the top 100 now they're gonna make more money than they made before just by making top 100 or some. I don't know.
Close still though.
But
It's
the
still
the
But
close.
you
It's
concept
not like
understand what I'm
is
it's
saying?
called
Like they
it's
made a
called
program, but the program doesn't actually
do anything.
they're not actually making a difference. So like
But
even
because it's like a fake because they want it to seem like we're helping players further down the rankings, but they're not helping anybody further down. It's called a baseline. It's supposed to be the base.
yeah,
So you want to help the guys who are like just entering. Challengers are still part of the ATP. Like you have a player zone. It's all one system. So you should be helping the guys who are at the bottom level of the challengers to still
yeah.
make a living,
I just
which
think
is
that it's like
about 500, right? Isn't
I don't even
500
know.
about
I don't even know what at what point that they decided they want to help people out, but like help somebody. Like this is not helping anybody. I don't think.
I
Besides the
think
people who get
at
hurt
least
and the newcomers, I think.
well, who is the Australian
players I've
guy
heard
who
go
did
for
the
it.
pod? I was gonna say, who's the Australian guy who did that podcast? It was like the Going Pro podcast.
I think
Who
there's a
was it?
I
coach,
remember
but
you
it's
talking.
I've
He was a
seen
player.
clips from it. Oh,
No,
he was
he
a
was a player, and he
It
talks
was a
about
player talking
how
on a coach's podcast. Yeah.
he was
yeah,
saying
yeah.
how it's like
Maybe
the
Thomas
level,
Fan Cut, maybe something like that.
and might have been him. That
That
sounds
sounds like the
right. But
name in my
anyways,
head. I
he
can't
was
remember.
like, It's such a damn good level at 250 to 500, but you're losing so much money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I guess in my mind, what you say makes sense because you should help the guys who seem to have earned it more than the other ones down the ranking, but who can't seem to maybe break even. So if not help them make money, at least help them offset the cost of what this costing them to play the whole year,
And that's what they
so they
say
can
that they
keep
were
playing.
trying to
Yeah.
do. Like this, like their quote was, "This includes covering the expenses of coaches and personal physios as well as travel."
And not to sound
But
like a
if
Robin Hood, but
yeah,
does the guy in the top 100 need like they I feel like a guy in the top 100 could support his team regardless, right? Am I right?
I mean, I
yeah, but
guess
this
it
is
depends on
it's kind
it
of
depends on the lifestyle they live. But
I mean,
I'm
how
not.
many guys you want to bring with you? You want to bring the whole world with you, a personal
no, but
chef? I mean,
I think it's kind of irrelevant because let's say I spend 300K in a year for my team and travel and all this stuff. If I make 300K, I don't get any money from the ATP anyway, so it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah,
So it doesn't really matter. Just
yeah.
it's based on what you make that year. So the number has to be higher if they want to make a difference in any
Correct.
kind
I
of way.
think for this to make sense, one of two things need to happen. Either the money needs to be higher, like what you just said. So for instead of top 100 baseline being 300K, it needs to be like what 500, 600. I don't know, something higher. Or they need to make an attempt to go like the same numbers for guys further down the rankings. So instead of like top 100, 300K, maybe go like 150, something like that.
Yeah.
And that way it'll help people further down the rankings. But I think that these two topics, like the baseline program and the Roddick video, kind of ties into each other because the point I was making earlier is that there's so many good players, as you can see now with the US Open results. Like look at all the wild cards who did well, like Aiden Mayo did well, Spizziri did well,
Did he
Gibson did
qualify or he
well.
lost last round?
Dog, since I
Aiden.
left, since I traveled, I have no clue what's been happening at US Open.
Okay.
But and even Omni Kuma and Winston Salem beating two guys top 100, and he's 400 in the world. So like, this was the point I was making that
and if you go through his rankings breakdown, a majority of it is futures.
yeah,
So, because
Exactly.
I was just training with him or practicing with him in Winnipeg, and he was telling me how he has to defend all of his points in futures, and he's like, you could see he was a little bit stressed, you know. And it's funny how like
Mm.
1 week like that just turns it right
Change it.
around.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the point I was making, that the level and the money doesn't line up. But you know, it's funny. Harrison Adams messaged the group chat, not the group chat, the podcast page, like maybe a week ago or so, and he was
Yeah.
asking if anyone had like a budget, like an expense sheet or something on how much it costs to play for a year. So I don't know if there's anyone watching. If you have one of those, you can send in to us. But I told him that I will. Like, I'm about to go on a 5 tournament like trip, so I'll do my best to create one for 5 weeks, so you can at least have and see how it is for me at least. And I guess I'll share. It's probably a good thing to share. Like we can probably
Like
share it
vlog it
on.
a little bit.
Yeah, we can share it on the podcast at the end of the 5 weeks. We can talk about it. So yes,
For
sir.
sure. And it's
Any,
also funny because the higher you go, actually, oftentimes the lower your expenses are on the tour, unless you start bringing a coach with you. But just in terms of like the last few weeks I've been playing challengers, I only had to pay really for my flight. Most of the time, there's transportation from the airport or wherever you need to go, to and from the courts and the hotel, and then you get 2 free meals every day. Um, Free waters everywhere. You can hydrate easily. Um, we had free massages in Dominican Republic. There's all kinds of perks going on. And I can only imagine it being even better at the ATP level, the 250s, 500s, and 1000s. So
yeah,
it's kind of, it's anything in life. The better you get, the less you have to come out of pocket. People want to, they need you, I guess, in a,
yeah.
in a, in a
I want to
sense.
make you
But
as comfortable as possible and as
yeah,
efficient as possible,
for
like
sure.
convenient.
Yeah.
Since we're on the subject, you want to talk about, I guess you kind of explained it a little bit, but like the crazy difference between a future and a challenger.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
mean,
insane.
yeah, I've played three this year, my first three I've ever played in my life. And the best way I can describe it is that I was talking to Josh Sheehy about this when we were in maybe Lexington, and it's just you get to focus on tennis. You don't have to worry about accommodation. You don't have to worry about how you're gonna get from here to there, what you're gonna eat, how much it's gonna cost you. You don't have to worry about practice courts, balls,
Brother,
nothing. You
may I
like, and
interrupt you and
also,
let you
yeah,
know that it cost me 25 United States American dollars to go to the courts every day and back? Like one way is
one way,
$25.
50 a day.
In Budapest there?
Yeah, because we're staying like
My
25 minutes away.
my rental is 25 a day. You're losing big time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, the biggest thing as well, I would say, is that you kind of build up this, for lack of a better term, this trauma from Futures Tour where you feel like you're always bothering people. So like if you were in a Futures event and you ask for help, you ask for a towel or you ask for balls or you ask to do this or that, you usually met with a little bit of resistance or like you're annoying someone. So when I first went to the challenges, I was
You
like a little
offend
bit
somebody for
afraid.
asking for a new can of
Yeah,
balls at
yeah.
the future. It's
Oh
like, oh, you
yeah.
think you can get a new can? Are you crazy? Who do you think you are?
Yeah. You're afraid. When I first went to the challenge, I was a little bit hesitant to ask for things that I needed or for help. But then there were even times where they would come to me and ask if I needed anything, which was a complete shift from
Me.
what I'm used to.
I need
Yeah.
anything.
So
Points.
so
I need
yeah,
points.
so it's a different feeling altogether.
You
There's
feel
ball
like
change at 7 and 9. You just feel there's 10 people on the court. There's like 5, 6 line judges. You got
six ball
ball
kids. There's
boys.
literally
You get
12 people just for you two.
yeah, it's amazing.
You feel like a pro.
It's way easier. Yeah,
You actually feel like you, for lack of better words, you feel like you belong. Like at a
yeah,
futures, you're like, what am I doing here? And meanwhile, like when you go to a challenger, you're like, okay, like I feel like all this hard work I've been doing is actually like, you feel like you belong a little bit, or like
Yeah,
it's
it's
for
worth it.
sure.
motivating.
Worth it.
It's motivating for you to like when you get there, you don't want to go back. You know.
No.
Hmm. No,
True.
But Justin's
it's
so right.
good.
Like you do feel like from futures, you do feel like you're a nuisance. And then when you get to
Yeah,
like the challengers, they don't care who you are. If you're a player, like they take care of you so well.
yeah. I was an alternate one week. I didn't know if I was gonna get in or not, and they sent a car for me to pick from the airport. Like it was easy to get when I once I got into the tournament, it was easy to get a reservation for the hotel. Like they got me in a hotel easily, no problem. Everything was taken care of. Like I didn't feel any sort of stress once I got over the initial like fear of dealing with them. Everything has been easy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the next 3 or 4 weeks over here go.
And you know what Darian
that.
said is he goes at that level too, it actually starts to become like a relationship. You get to know the supervisors and you get to know
Yeah,
the people. So like he's like the people here, because he's been there for a little bit. He's like they actually like know you and know your tendencies, and it's like
You know,
for
yeah,
better or for worse.
when we were in Pittsburgh, we were talking with the supervisor there, and because it rained a lot, and where the players' lounge was is right next to the supervisor's desk, so we end up talking to him every day. And he is a challenger supervisor. He only does like 2 or 3 futures every year, but what he was stressing the whole time was the product, like the ATP's product of professional tennis. So you are a part of the product, So like you said, it's like a working relationship with each other versus how in the futures you feel like you're a hassle to somebody. It's like these tournament directors, they want you to come for the week, play your tournament, and get out of there, versus like
hmm
in ATP, you're working together with someone on the product to make it good for people to watch and want to come and, invest money into and that sort of stuff.
yeah.
So it's a different relationship.
And I guess on some level too, there's a bit of respect. Like I guess there's a sort of a stigma that if you make it to the challenger level, you have a certain level. I think sometimes with these futures, it's like you can get random people who might have random requests that don't make any sense. So maybe
Yeah.
the organizers are on edge already because they have dealt with so much of a nuisance. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a little bit fair too that they act how they act if you think
Yeah.
about it from their perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
But
And how
as
hard they have to
yeah,
work too. Like sometimes the tournament directors and stuff have to work so hard at the futures, like
yeah,
just making the event. Not that they don't at the higher levels, but it's like such a big sacrifice for them to
yeah,
have futures, I think. So
yeah, yeah. So it's give and take, but my experience has been very positive, and I look forward to getting to that level consistently in the near future, hopefully,
true.
for
AJ,
sure.
what's your schedule coming up?
For me, nothing till September 11th. I'm either gonna play the 15K in Champaign, or maybe depending on how the list is in Cary, go to Cary. And
Okay.
then the week after, I'm gonna try to play the Columbus Challenger,
Nice.
and then I'm off to Europe
I think I'm
To
gonna
get
be.
married,
to get married.
Is that not supposed to
sick.
be shared with the World Wide Web?
No,
Cut it.
no, I mean like no, as in like I don't mind.
Yeah. I think I'll be here for maybe 5 weeks and I'll come back
And
in
then you'll be at my
October,
wedding.
brother. Well, if I don't go to the Pan Am Games, I will be at your wedding. So
You don't know if you're gonna go?
I don't
Oh,
know how
he's
that
gonna
works.
go.
I want to go. I just don't know if the powers above me, the ones who control the application process and stuff, if they manage that well. So hopefully I can go. It was fun last time.
Yes.
And
I'm heading to the
we have
I'm heading to the
several
Open
podcasts lined
tomorrow.
up. Yo, you should see
US
if you
Open?
should you should see if
What's that?
you can get someone to do a podcast on the US Open.
I'll do my best. It's busy there, you know.
Yeah, you don't
Like I
want to
feel like a
distract
nuisance
people.
again.
Yeah, true.
Like I'm
AJ's the
texting all my
futures.
friends on like a normal day, they'd want to have a full conversation, but now it's like I don't want to bother you guys. You guys are like trying to play your matches, you know?
AJ's the futures nuisance.
I am.
All right, we got anything else to cover before we roll?
No.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was good for Zoom. Hopefully the quality is as good as it feels like it is. So
If you guys
It's
still stuck
short, no?
around,
25 minutes? How long is it?
yeah, nice little short session. We have 6 minutes before the free whatever is done. So
You got no fan questions? Nothing?
I didn't even ask. Oh,
To do?
someone asked if we're gonna talk about US Open, but I don't really know what is there to talk about besides the fact that I think the only thing that we talked about so far is that not the young guys, but the wild cards have done well. Like it was fun to see like Aiden Mayo. I don't know if he qualified, but I know he won at least 2 rounds, and I played him twice this year. And the other guys that we all would have played around same time as Kipson, Omni, all these guys that Spizziri, like guys that we see in the futures and challenges, they go to the US Open, they do well. So that's cool to see that, the level is that close. Not that we didn't know that already,
For
but
sure. Like life can change, give an opportunity. But I want to shout out Blaze Bignell is in the final of a Lima 50 Challenger.
Plays in
He's
40
playing.
minutes.
He's gonna start soon. I'm gonna be sleeping probably when he
Yeah,
goes
me
on.
too.
But yeah, Blaze was the last direct acceptance into the draw.
Main.
Yeah,
Now he's in the
he got
finals.
in, and he's in the final.
Tearing
Beat
it
some
up.
very good players on the way. So
No, he's been
hopefully
playing
he gets some
good.
good news in the morning.
Crazy
playing very
story in Laval, he won the tournament in the finals in 3 sets, and then drove straight to Granby and played another match that day. So he played 5 matches in the week, won Laval 25, drove straight to Granby
That
Challenger.
same night,
The same night played, won that
qualified.
night, and then beat someone again the next day. I don't know how he did in Maine, but like he was on like at least 7 matches win streak.
Yeah,
I feel
He's been doing
traveling
very
the
well
same day
recently.
as playing.
Huh?
I said I feel that traveling
yeah,
the
you
same
did it
day as
too.
playing.
You did
I
too.
think he played a 3-set final as well, and then played
Yeah.
another tough match.
Indoors. The 3-set final went indoors, and
No
then
way.
yeah, because it rained that day, and then they went
Then he played outside.
outside. Yeah, that night. I'd like I don't even know what time, but it was like nighttime and won the next day, like pretty easy too.
Well, hopefully by the time that this comes out, he won the tournament,
Yeah.
and then hopefully we get him on the podcast soon.
By the time this comes out, you see him on our Instagram. So
For sure.
we'll have him on Zoom maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We'll clip this little part.
thanks for watching, people. If you have any ideas for us now that we've figured out Zoom, hopefully, let us know if you think we should have anyone on. We're gonna keep working to try and bring you content every week from
And
the
keep
road.
DMing the
So,
questions. We like
yeah,
the
keep sending
questions.
questions. Yeah, and I'll
Yo,
ask
and just
questions
follow
before
the
next
page,
time.
yo, and subscribe and all them things, bro.
We're very close to 1,000. Help us out here.
I think we're 10
We
away
might.
from.
By the time this comes up, we might be over 1,000 actually.
Yeah,
Better
we need
be.
to get to 1,000 on YouTube, though. That's the plan. That's the goal. So
Where we at on YouTube?
200, 250.
Very far away.
We need one of those
works.
things in the thing with the red subscribe thing that comes up with the animation.
Reece has been working on this for weeks. Apparently, he has a cool one. So maybe for this episode, we'll see the cool subscribe thing come on, like right here. This is how they do it, right?
Reece is...
This is how the YouTube people do
Yeah,
it.
they're like,
right here.
do it here or do it here.
Reece cheeky with those clips, bro.
You have to be careful what you say.
You make it sound like I was being bad to you though.
No, you have to stay sharp. You have to stay sharp.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Out of context.
all right, people. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll do our best to keep these episodes coming. Thanks for supporting us. Share it with a friend, and we'll see you next week.